Alright, we're live. Gonna work on this 288 stuff, I think. We'll bring it up here. See what we can see as far as comments and questions. Anybody that has comments and questions are welcome. So I'm just gonna start working here and we'll see where we end up. Yeah, so if anybody hasn't done this before, if you're new to the channel, welcome. Watching this live is a whole lot more fun than doing it after the fact, just so you know. Hey, Brian. Welcome. Yeah, it's a whole lot more fun to do this live than it is to actually hang out after. So, highly suggest hit the subscription and the notification bell so you actually get notifications. So, per usual, I do a little bit of cleanup and then we get down to it. So big day tomorrow, I get the TIG welder. And then Friday, I get the 288 parts pile. There he is. Son of Liberty 1984. I did not get to email you as nearly as quickly as I had hoped. When I saw your email, I was like, oh, because it was like 11 o'clock at night that I saw it, and I'm like, I want to reply as thoroughly as possible, so I had to wait till the next day. So forgive me for that. You guys like this pile of bolts here? Look at that. Fresh out of the ultrasonic. Ooh. Right off the bat. So, oh, cool. Is this bent though? Ah, it's bent. I guess I could bend it back, but it's a 288 tensioner. Got a parts pile here. Hello. But it was quick. Well, you're welcome just the same. Usually people get email or replies very quickly from me, so that's my goal. Try not to fall behind in emails. Hey, John. So this is actually Danny's 288 clutch cover, and this is a 394 chip deflector, which is the correct part here. It's right in there. The other one was completely messed up, so I'm going to set that right there for the moment. This is 372, and I know that, so I'm going to put these over here. Oh, you know what I forgot? I forgot to get some more plastic baggies to help with organization, but whatever. Okay. These, I think, are 394. The rest of these are 288, I think, but some of them are slightly longer than the others, so I think that's 394 also. Although that might be steel. You know what? I'm going to put that in the steel pile because I'm pretty sure. Change the piston to 3 cylinders, polished and recycled with a honing machine. Okay. With the honing machine, you have to be careful about honing cylinders because they're plated. You can't just hone it like you would another head. You can go through the plating, so you do have to be careful about that. This is 288. This is 394. I think those are all 288. Dummy question. Crank says, does the crank spin within the rubber seal, or does the rubber somewhat adhere to the crank? No, the rubber does not adhere to the crank. The rubber seals against the crank, but the crank spins. The rubber stays. There. Yeah, you know, I think I've had that question before too. I think some people have kind of an odd sense about what seals do. All right, so let's line all these up here. Because some of these are 288 carb bolts. You know what? We're going to check it right now because this is a stock 288. I got to pull the carb bolts out. So we're going to figure out which one of these, the shorter or the longer, are actually for 288. This is my buddy's 288, and I'm just going to put a new carburetor on this thing, so it makes sense to do. The choke thing was kind of screwed up. This carb is old anyway. I think more than crank wear, I don't think the crank necessarily wears them out as much as just the rubber itself degrades. You know, it only handles so many heat cycles. And this is just extremely tight, so you need a ball end Allen to get in here. And of course, there's one here too. Holding the whole thing down. I don't think anybody, you guys can see this. I don't think anybody's tuned that in a while. I have to get a photo of that. Kids playing video games. Okay, go back to live here so I can see comments. That's funny. That's a good picture. Pretty clean in there otherwise. I'll clean that off good. Gasket. These look like the long ones. The spring washers. So these shorties, I don't know where they go. I'm just going to put them in my long Allen bolts here. Same length, so those go in these go in the 288 parts pile. Okay. Yeah, a little dirty here. How does the piston look? That's fine. No trouble there. I think I should put a new plug in here for him. That would be a good idea. Nice color to it. That's fine. I'm just removing this basically for more room. Take an opportunity to clean that, have a little bit more room here. Let me go clean this off. I'll be right back, and we're going to put a brand new carburetor in here. going to clean off these gaskets. Now, if I'm doing a full rebuild, it's really best to use fresh new gaskets. I don't think I have new gaskets. I do, but they're for another kit, so when I fully rebuild this, I will put fresh gaskets on. Those are clean. That's clean. Make sure the impulse hole is clear. That's always nice. Okay. New carburetor. So this is the Walbro instead of the Tilly. And the saws that I've done, I don't know, kind of like the Walbro, you know. Some people like the Tilly. Whatever. You can get either. Brandy new. Beautiful. All right. Forgot to clean this off. A little dirty. I'll be right back. That's a lot cleaner. Oh shoot, wait a minute. I'm missing chat. Sorry guys. The quote on the needle adjustments only. Yeah, I know. How's your luck been in the Chinese replacement cards? I don't like them in general. I've had a few, I've tried a few. They really are hit and miss. Some work okay, but it's just so frustrating for me to get a brand new carburetor, then have it not work, and then try to diagnose that while I'm doing a rebuild. Can you replace a case gasket just using 1184? I don't know. The rough answer is I don't know. I've thought about it, but one of the considerations is that if that case gasket is 20 thousandths thick, you may not have the play on the crank because you're squishing the bearings onto the crank, right? And the bearings have positive stops onto the crank. You may not have an extra 20 thousandths there. Doing okay. How you doing, Nikki? Hey, Roger. How much is the carburetor? It's like $60. These aren't too bad right now. Some carburetors you want astronomical money for. Put these through. here. A little bit of blue Loctite on here. Yeah, you might have to mic it, but how are you going to get a mic in there? It's a fine idea. I just, if you can figure out how to slip a mic in there, let me know. Right, the crank. Without a guessing, the crank could be pinched. Yes, if you're, it may or may not work. If you want it to be tighter, take the crank, put it on a lathe, and take 10 thousandths off that bump on either side. That would be impressive. And then the crank has 10 thousandths more to seat, which means the lobe is going to be 10 thousandths closer to the crankcase. I'm not really suggesting that. It's just like if you were gonna do it, you could try that, but that's real tricky. Tricksy stuff. You know what? I'm gonna use 518 on this. So on this gasket, I'm gonna use some 518. One of the things to remember, guys, use Loctite 518 anaerobic sealer. You really need to let it set for like 24 hours before you go start this thing. Your first thumbs up. What? Well, I appreciate it. Just so everybody knows, I'm not trying to grow the channel to 100,000 people, That's not my objective. Don't need to make $1 million here. Just want to hang out with you guys. Okay? So if we do grow like that, then that's fine, but I'll take that in stride. But that's not necessarily the goal. I think I'm at 8,000 subscribers now, which is well beyond what I ever thought, what we were going to do. So thank you to everybody. I mean, this has been quite a ride. Just put a little bit of Loctite 518 on here. You really need to? Yeah. I used to have a fresh gasket, but I don't have one. I don't have one that I can use on this saw. That's a better way to put that. Yeah, so I'd have to, if you do the numbers out, Nikki, if you do all those numbers out, to try to figure out where we'd be at. Um, somewhere somewhere in there, eventually, I have to quit my job. That's kind of how that goes, you know. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know exactly where in there, but at some point, there is that point that I have to quit my job. And I'm not planning on that anytime soon. I have just signed to be back as of June 1st, but nobody knows exactly what that's going to look like. That's tight. Tight, tight, tight. Nice squeeze out on the 1184. Click there. Gonna go clean this right back. Saw rebuilds on YouTube server starts to be crazy talk. Yeah, if you do the math, let's see, somewhere around, I think somewhere around the 500,000 to 700,000, I would definitely have to quit my job. I might be able to quit my job closer to 100,000. I don't know. Also, in case anybody hasn't noticed, I have not monetized this live stuff. So if you go back and watch the live streams, there's no ads. Mostly because I haven't bothered. And who would want to watch these after the fact anyway? So there's definitely that to consider. That I'm not really making money off of the live streams. But I am having fun. If you keep building Orange Shade, you'll bet 200,000 subs. Let's get into some John Suarez next. You know, if I get to those levels, then and I do quit, then I guess we can just keep building different stuff, you know. Because then I can just do this, do whatever I want, right? Yes, I know, Nikki, and I appreciate that, but this coming level, government decided to go to level 3. Right, go back to steals, et cetera, et cetera. Yeah, if I did more steals, I bet I'd have a lot more. Okay, that looks nice. Now we're really talking here. spark plug. And per usual, I'm out of a new spark plug. I bring them in handfuls at a time, and somehow. Questions on what I did here. Now I'm going to do just for giggles here. I'm just going to take a piece of short fuel line and stick it on here. I just don't want anything getting into the carburetor easily. So, piece of fuel line goes on there while this sits around. We're waiting for some pieces from the tank. So once we get those, then I can continue on here. That's M6. Oh, I forgot one bolt. You guys are supposed to remind me. Eddie, you forgot something. Where the devil did I put it? Down here. I don't know. This just holds the air horn down. Okay. Now, let's get to this, and then we'll get to the bolts. I think. So one thing I discovered a little bit ago about putting the brake handle back on was that it's actually easiest if you take the spring out. So I'm going to take the spring out of here. I'll show you guys what I mean. Because there's a nub on this on the long spring here. You take that out, click it over, and it makes things a little bit easier. But in order to get that out, you have to pull this pin. When it comes to bearings, watch the install 62 on the 272. Any particular reason to remove the shield from the bearings? The shield, yes, because bearings need to be open in order to be lubricated in a chainsaw. So you might get away with removing, and shields are effectively debris in a chainsaw, and you don't want debris in your saw. You know what I mean? So this comes out, that goes in like that, but now we can temporarily put that pin back, put that aside. All these pieces, this and the spring. Put this little pin in here. Sometimes you need a hammer to put that in. Sometimes it goes in just like that. Okay. What else? The spring on. This forward spring here just taps in. You just have to get it up and over again. So on this spring has to fit in here effectively. But it's easier once this is clicked over to get it on that side. That was actually a little bit too easy. So I'm a little worried that this spring is just not strong enough. This was the rubber that was on here before. I think it's kind of shot. And per usual, I'm missing one screw. I'll get it figured. Probably on the floor or something like that. Don't think it's in my parts pile here, but let's see if it's somehow. Yep, down here on the floor. Okay. Disappear. Now we use these two to sandwich this here. You should be able to line that up pretty close. You can put your screw in. Just needs to be in and held. Doesn't need to be crazy. And then we're going to click it back. And then we're going to pull this off again. And that is messed up somehow, but that's straight. I'm just going to put it in kind of gentle because it just has to hold it while you click this back. But clicking this back by hand may or may not be doable. You really need to hold on to the saw when you do that. So, put it on the saw. Just get it on the bar studs best you can. And that will not fully set. Okay. Yeah, this is the pile I got from the other day. Put it in the ultrasonic. Looks good. All right, so this won't fully set. I don't know why. Well, it'll set down, but then it pops right out, which is what my buddy told me it was doing. I figured if I give it a good cleaning, maybe it would behave. And it's not going to behave. So, what's wrong? Yeah, there's certainly some similarities between the 288s and the 394s. No question about that. The cranks are the same, which is like super convenient. The cylinder head on the 288 is just slightly smaller than the 394, and obviously the whole package is smaller than the 288. So you can give up a little bit of power for a much better power to weight ratio with a 288 rather than the 394. So why is this not fully setting? Oh. I don't know. Well, there's a spring under here, so you gotta be careful. Why won't it fully click and hold? I'm going to take a guess and say that this knee is junk. That's my guess. So we'll pop the spring out carefully. There's another thing to consider with these, is that this spring might be a little bit on the light side. Let's look. Can anybody look up for me on e-replacement parts that particular spring on the 288 and see if it's the same as 394? I think it is, but I am not sure. I'm not sure if I have it in my 288 parts pile or if I have to go out. I probably have to go out to the shed for it. Because I know I've got 394 springs. And I know I've got extra knees as well, which I can change out the spring and the knee. See if that helps. This spring here. So sometimes they put in springs on these, they're just too small. I know I've got a pile of springs in here somewhere. James is not here? Okay. Then you will be appropriately ignored. I've got other springs, but they're all short. To keep this collection out. And what I need to do is go out and get my 394 stuff and see if I have another knee, which I'm pretty sure I do. This should be able to click all the way down. Like that, and hold like that. I have an idea. If I can make it go slightly further down, wanna play? Let's play. You know? I can definitely run out and get other parts, but then we won't necessarily know why that other part worked and why one part was defective. See what I'm saying? Hey, Marshall. Just gotta get this pin out. Pull this thing back out of here. So this is the stop. Click, click, click. So if I can reduce that by a shade, it means that the knee will bend over a little bit more and be more likely in the locked position, if you will. One other thing. This does not feel right. It feels too sprung here. Let me do that. all the edges on here are sharp. That feels like that grabs a little better. You got the part number, Nikki? 394. See, I know I have more 394 parts. Just need to grind a little bit off of that. Just a touch. Looks like two pieces were actually like melded together here. I ground it right there. So it sits a little bit further down. It's not much. It would be an exceptionally tiny amount. But it'll take more to break the knee effectively. Do it here more. Let's try that. Same part number? Okay, that's good. So I may try, if this spring isn't strong enough, if that's the sense that we get, then I can try a 394 spring. But for right now, let me try this just to see if that helps. Because that way the knee will kind of force itself, you know. Where did I put the spring? Not this one. Where did I put that other spring? I hate that. Put something down, it disappears. Just disappears. How do you go about reducing the force? You put it in the bag with the rest. Nikki, I don't have a great answer to that question. a 372 spring does fit if you want to adjust the force. But remember, this is a safety device, so the more you mess with it, the less likely it might perform as intended. You know what I mean? Where the devil did I just put that spring, guys? What did I do with it? Can you go back and figure out what I did with it? Somebody? Go back 3 minutes and see where I put that stinking spring. Did it run off somewhere? It's in the plastic bag. Which plastic bag? This one? No. Hey, look, my 288 goodies. Okay, hang on. Over here. Ah, it's in this plastic bag. Thank you. Yes, you're right. It was behind me. Thank you, Stephen. I thought you were talking about my answer to Nikki's question, but thank you, Stephen. I'm gonna run around for hours looking for something like that. So either this is not clicking over far enough, or for whatever reason, the actual chain brake itself is not pushing it far enough. That may be another question. Would be reasonable to ask, you know? Right now I'm just calling this an exercise in academia because it's interesting. Again, I did not clip this pin. I just need it there to click this back. So let's see if it goes. Nope. So it's probably going far enough back, but for whatever reason, this particular brake handle may not be bringing it far enough back. That's my next theory. So let's do this. I have the next level of theory. Probably going to change it, make it better. I know, sometimes you gotta change it to make sure it works at all. Right? So let's try. Let's try an OEM piece. This is an OEM brake handle. happen to get this, great. I might not, but just start changing out parts until you see what works. That works. Let's click it back. Yep. So it simply is the aftermarket flag. There it goes. So, if anybody's having trouble, get an OEM flag. Pretty simple. Because this pin probably just pushes the whole mechanism back just a little bit further. Hey, Will. Showed that tree who's boss. Good. Okay, put that back together. Put that aside. So now what I'm going to do with this, so the aftermarket plastic here is indeed completely junk. So we're going to throw that away. However, this pin is fine. So is this spring. And those go into my 288 parts randomness. Will's garage was hidden by James. Okay. Watch out, guys. James has an itchy trigger finger. Just so everybody knows, it's all in good fun. James is not here to police people. He's here just to post my links, but he does have a bit of fun. Anyway. Put all the rest of this with Danny's saw. Because I'm not going to get much further on that until I get the gas tank figured out. I need parts for that, and that's going to be a while, unfortunately. Unless I can steal parts off of the parts pile that's coming on Friday, which is always a possibility. In which case, Bob's saw is actually first in line for that. Okay. Speaking of Bob's saw, speaking of Bob's saw, back to Danny. Need some fish paper. Oh, James tried to call me. James, text me. Or call me. You good? I figured.
I'm sorry, buddy.
That's okay.
Alright. I'll get back on that.
All right. See you in there. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Are we good? We back? We're definitely gonna do a new chord here. You think, guys? Hey, Bob, really? Oh, there's a couple. There's a comment that I've been meaning to go over because I thought it was really good. It was a while ago, and I told the guy I would actually go over it live, but I just haven't gotten the chance. But there was a Facebook post the other night, and it was a 288, and people were commenting on how much it was worth and how much it was going to sell for or whatever and how much they'd pay for it. And I did not comment because I did not want to get in the middle of things. But I did notice that there were a lot of little things with the saw that just meant that it was kind of really cobbled together. And I talked to somebody else last night that had commented on it. I won't say who, but they had commented on it. And I mentioned them, gee, you might not want to purchase it if you were thinking about it. So this is just on the edge of spinning. And the other one that I had, the other one of Bob's, that happened. It spun because this pulled out of there. So I think I have another spring. If I can use this one, I will. But we're just going to unspring this. Yikes. Look out. about 3,000 times easier if I have a new spring, but I guess I'll use that one. That is awfully loosey-goosey on there. That is much tighter. So I'm going to give this back to Bob. So now this piece, however, yeah, I just need to increase this hook, actually. It looks like it's kind of splayed out a little bit. And these pliers work. Little needle noses, yeah, okay. Much easier to bend if you heat it up. Spring steel. It's a bugger. Just need to flatten this out just a little bit. See, it really has to hook around something. Yeah. Like that. Haha. In a vise, that would have been easier. Now I just need to bend just the tip of this. And the whole thing bend. There we go. Yeah, that ought to work. That's got a good bend on it now. Bob's supposed to receive 2 saws today. So hopefully he did. I actually did not check the tracking numbers. Three 5.7. 3.59, 3.57. Okay, where's my hemostats? Yeah, the 3.59 I just built. He wanted. So he got it. Well, hopefully. This one's not quite as bad. As doing a 394. Greedy here and see if I can get this all done. It's getting easier. Ta-da. Yeah, the 3.59, 3.57. He bought it. Yep. Steve, what's going on? The boy's working on the 028. Needs clutch springs, new seals, new rings. Okay. I have a sneaky suspicion I would not be a fan of an 028. I don't have the answer to that question, Nikki. I've got to get some cord here. Okay, so pull out some excess. Spin it around until it kind of fills up. Okay, I need at least another 8 inches there. Now we're getting closer. That'll do. Break out the torch again. There we go. Grease on there. Pull that through. Click on it with the hemostat. Yep, that'll get you plenty annoyed, Nikki, huh? this one more turn here. Sorry. Okay, so I got into work mode here for a minute. I was talking about a 288 last night that they were evaluating on Facebook. And the thing about it that got me was that I think everybody was offering way too much money for it. Brand new OEM, Bob, that's for you. So I look for like little things, indicators to me of how much a saw is worth. And if I see fasteners that aren't matching, it means that something was cobbled back together, you know? And if something's cobbled back together, you may consider saying, nope, I don't want that. Or, you know, the price goes down. My experience so far is that if something's cobbled together like that, yeah, the price has to go down because you're going to be spending a lot of extra time doing silly stuff, you know? If you're going to buy a saw like that, don't pay a premium for it. I don't care what saw it is. Don't be that guy. Now, I'm also convinced that that guy was probably going to get like $300 for that saw. But, don't be the guy that gives him $300. Gonna need some new fasteners here, I think. That's okay. I'm sure I got them somewhere. Just thinking, should we put Bob's cylinder head on here? Let's see if I can. Yeah, the prices for things have gotten completely insane. These are Meteor circlips, which I probably, if I can avoid using them, I will avoid using them. Hey, Keith. Yeah, it's a little quiet. Okay. Nothing real exciting, just working on Bob's 288 here. Exciting for Bob, but he's not here. Don't know why, but that's okay. Here's my 288 gaskets. Did not put the clips in yet. I shouldn't have put the ring on. Whatever, doesn't matter. Just want to test squish. This is pretty clean and ready to go. So this is a used head, but it's got basically no damage visibly. We've got 1,000 of these head bolts here, so I'm not worried about that. Bit of grease and the head bolt. Matt, the ultrasonic blast is really changing. Yeah, I don't use straight solvent. I might use, a couple of cups in a gallon of water type of thing. So that gets changed out pretty often. Like I use 2 water baths to do this pile here. That helps. So I dropped the cylinder head a little bit. It's not going to hit. I mean, dropped it 13 thousandths. We're not talking about lots here. So we're aiming for 20 thousandths. $18. It's tight. That's okay. This one's gonna be tight, Bob. You can check it on the other side too, just for giggles. $19, $18, somewhere around there. That's fine. So, not worried. Hey, Pat. Waiting for Bob to show up here. There's Bob. His ears were ringing. Still new rubber wheels fighting it on the way. Sorry. Alright. Gonna put some new rings. I need clips. I need circlips. That's what I need. Kind of hoping. Bob, you just missed us do your starter. Aha! I've got your clips here, Bob. Nice. So we just did the fresh, made your OEM starter nice and fresh. Where did I put it? Right here somewhere. Here. OEM put a new highway part, but these are nice, and this is much tighter. The other one was loosey-goosey, like crazy. So did you actually get the saws, Bob? They were scheduled to be there today. Yeah, good to hear, Pat. Staples out. Very nice. They both ran for 5 minutes. Good. If you're happy, I'm happy. Nothing wrong with that. There we go. That feels better. Haven't heard from Larry yet today. We're waiting on that. Love him. Haven't had time. Been working on problems. Yeah, I know. You start getting in one mode and you can't think of anything else. Can't do anything else. Fully understand. Did they arrive in okay shape? Was the packing okay? Okay. Arrow points to the exhaust, all that stuff. I'm going to put this over here for just a second. I got a little bit more cleaning to do on the head. Guys are getting me hungry. I need to eat dinner. Tell you what, guys, you know what? Can I eat dinner? Maybe come back later if I have a little bit of ambition. Is it okay with you guys? I'd love to put this cylinder head down and at least get that done with. I do have no. It was always great. Mounted the bars, cut a small cedar board. Yep. Bob, we have this special for you. You can feel special all you want. Right here. Brand new Walbro WJ117. And yeah. I actually have another one on the way. Great looking but hard to get CD with that cast wheels. Ooh. Go to dinner, don't take off with it. Yeah, it's a good point, Keith. So let me go to dinner. Oh no, what did I pull out? Let me go to dinner and I will hang out with you guys later if I can, okay? No promises, but if I can, I will definitely hang out. We're gonna clean this up, put that on. That may be about as far as I can take that tonight. Still waiting. I'm waiting on pieces parts. So big week though. I'm anticipating a call from my machinist any day now that we're going to be ready on tools, or at least some of them, which would be great. Then we can move along with that. Tomorrow I've got the welder coming, which is TIG and plasma cutter, which is cool. And then Friday we've got the big lot coming with all kinds of whatever else goodies. So all kinds of exciting, and it's going to be a few weeks before I get the e-replacement parts order, which is all the little randomness, which I will need to complete Bob's project and possibly Danny's 288, unless I can grab something from the big parts pile. Anyway, so lots of stuff going on. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we will catch you later if at all possible. Take care, guys. Have a great night. Thanks so much.